I'm ready.
Well, actually, you're not here yet. So, after darkness, you saw light. You found yourself in the middle of nothing, floating in in the vast space. There are no stars, no planets, just you, or so you believe. After a long time of just drifting away, your consciousness has been back, but you don't remember anything.
Hmm.
But slowly but surely, as hours, days, months, years pass, you start to remember bits and pieces and you start putting them together like a puzzle. Then something changed. You feel you felt a push downwards and you began to fall. There's no up or down, but you knew that you were heading towards something that was probably not good. And as you looked down, you saw it. 6 bright yellow eyes. Its mouth barely open. You could see stars falling into the middle of its throat as if it was just eating them as soon as they were being formed. As it gazes at you, you hear a soft but ominous voice that says, "Who are you?"
Uh.
Before
Oh.
you can even respond,
Oh.
you open your mouth and
I don't-
words don't come out, and then everything stops. The stars are held in time. You are not falling, you don't feel anything anymore. And then you hear a second voice that just says, "I'll take care of this one.
Oh.
You do you." And in a flash of light, you find yourself in a blank space. You feel weird. Your whole body feels tingly, but it stops after a couple of seconds. There's nothing again, but this time it is just white instead of the pitch blackness. But it still feels just as lonely. And then a voice comes in from everywhere and nowhere at the same time that just says, "Well, at least we don't have to deal with him." The voice seems genderless, and it doesn't feel threatening. It just feels there. Like if existence itself was just talking to you in a nonchalant conversation. Care to explain yourself?
Um. Hello.
Mm, yeah. You see this figure. appears just a hooded person. You cannot see its face, not its limbs. It's just as if this was a magical set of clothing that's just floating around with some magical darkness inside of it, where the body should be. I said, explain yourself.
I, 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 I don't know what. What am I supposed to explain? Who? What?
Why are you here?
I don't know.
In
What? Which god are you? Who did I piss off?
God,
Are
do
you,
you have any idea? You hear a cacophony of voices all around you, of how much I have to give up to become a mere god.
mm, I,
It, it just doesn't make sense for you, do you?
I mean, I don't. I are you, no. I mean, I try to be a god.
You? I sense barely any divinity inside of you.
I mean, I was kind of trying to, marry into being a god.
Huh.
You know Morte, right?
No, I do not.
The goddess of death.
Ho ho. Let me give you a little bit of a backstory. You are not where you think you are anymore.
Oh, I'm in space. Ooh.
You are but a intruder, stepping into my reality, stepping into my world, stepping into my universe. And let me tell you,
Oh,
the reason why I said explain yourself is because right now you have two choices. You either talk enough and convince me that you're not someone that I should, let's put it lightly, erase. Or you get erased. Simple as that.
that's that's a that's a that's those are nice. Good, two good options. Who the fuck are you? Are you the void? Did you suck me up
No,
just now? Hard to
I
remember.
actually. Not really. I actually saved you from the void. That was the other guy that you almost met for a second there.
The other guy.
You see, it feels as if this entity is trying as much to understand you as you are trying to understand it. But at the same time, it feels like it has the high ground. Let's start again, shall we?
Uh,
Come here.
okay.
Good. Why
Um,
don't we sit and talk?
um. Sure. I don't think I have a choice.
Tell me your story. I will tell you something about me, and we can go from there. How about that?
Uh. Okay. I guess. Do you
Uh,
just want me to sit on this star?
hmm? There's nothing here.
Oh.
But there is something. You can go ahead and sit. And
Okay.
as you sit down, you feel something like actually
Oh.
hold your weight, as if there was something there, but it was just painted the same color as everything, or if it was just invisible.
Oh. So I just see like all this nothingness.
Yeah.
Okay.
you'd see nothing. And you see that it starts to float around and then it sits down on top of something. The cloth, the cloth bends around what seems to be an edge of something like a stool or a table. And you can see the hands, well, just grab onto the side of this edge and just stare in your direction, awaiting. Do you
Oh.
tell your life story?
Um. Yeah. Yes, I do.
Right?
Do I have to?
When
Can I?
we are not going to
Okay.
actually explain the whole thing because there's a lot, pretty much. But I do want to ask you uh, in some specific about some specific things.
Okay.
So you tell him about Mars before being split into Phobos and Deimos.
Yeah. At first, I mean, I just introduced myself as Mars, just
Mm-hmm.
because that's who I am. Even though my name tag is kind of Mars right now.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. I tell him about being Mars. Um. And then, I mean, I honestly I just start from the fucking beginning, because fuck it. Um. I tell him my rough childhood, like rough summary about childhood, then skip to Mars, the split, everything to do with the void, that Deimos remembers, pretty much like everything. um I tell him about uh Morte. Tell him
Mm-hmm.
about the people I've met, the party. um I go into weird details about the moments with Treen at a tavern brothel, and Gallus at a brothel and as a nun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I tell him about the the moments where Deimos would stay up all night, staring at Phobos and overthinking everything that he's doing. The times he cries. Um, the moments where he wants to give up. You know, just all the vulnerable times as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what else. I tell him about the final battle and everything around that.
Okay. You see, this entity hears you without stopping you. It makes a couple of remarks here and there. You sometimes hear a small giggle, a laugh, or just a nod, or you just see a nod of approval or a shake of the head in disapproval in some of the parts of your story. There doesn't seem you don't feel any urgency to do anything. It's
You just
it's
keep
just
talking.
time doesn't matter here.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually don't know how long you have been talking non-stop. Your body doesn't feel tired. Your mind doesn't tells you to stop or to consider your situation right now. It's just as if nothing matters anymore. It's you feel as if you have died and now you're just talking to Morte, but well, not her because you would be having a different conversation if that was the case.
You know it.
So basically, it's just you, him, and what seems to be eternity. After you finish the remarks, you see the figure uh, stand up and float. And by the way, during the conversation, he did motion as if he was drinking something. And as you tried to copy it, you actually felt like whatever you were thinking of. So if you were thinking of water, you would just take a sip of water. If you were thinking of some meat or something, because you were going through rough part and you needed to be not exactly sober for it, you could just drink something strong. But the effects subsided shortly after you are done. It is basically as if anything that you can imagine becomes reality. It's just that you cannot see it. You just feel it.
Um, I think I would have, if possible, would have tried to think of something like pecan pie on a fork.
And you felt as if you were holding it, as if you were holding the fork.
And I eat it.
Yeah, it tastes just like it. It doesn't fill you up. You're not necessarily hungry. This is just you satiating your desire. But you did take some times where you would just stop talking to enjoy these moments, and then it became kind of just normal. So you just continue talking. Again, there's no pressure. There's no time limit. It is just you and it. After you finish, it says, "Ah, I see. Okay. I think I understand your story. And
Yeah.
I understand your positioning now."
Yep. And I stayed a virgin through the whole thing.
That is rather unfortunate, but hey, look what that got you. If you
Yeah.
weren't a virgin, you wouldn't be here.
I mean, I guess.
I'm kidding. That had nothing to do with it.
Okay, great. I had a really shitty love life, as you heard. So
Yeah, I can tell, but it is okay. Some people just don't get those times to do those stuff. It never bothered me, but nothing necessarily does. I get my enjoyment from just secondhand experiences from other things, from other people, from other entities. Oh, right, silly me. I forgot to introduce myself. Uh, hmm. I do not want to blow your brain or melt it so that it comes out of your ears. So let me just do the. That's just the name that mortals from a specific world gave me. Uh, how was it again? Oh, yes. You can call me Entropy.
entropy.
Yes. It is a name that I actually like. It has some weight behind it.
Mhm.
Uh, well, now that I know your whole life story, then I will consider you someone close. So you can also just call me Enti for shorts.
NT.
Because I know that, again, that's what mortals do. I never understood it, but I never disliked it either.
I mean, NT's a cool nickname, I guess. Uh, I put out a hand for a handshake.
it.
I don't know if you know this.
Uh-huh. Oh. Entropy approaches you and looks at your hand. Or, well, you see the hood tilts down at your hand and then at you. A lot of second-hand experiences, and uh, he puts the sleeve up to your arm, and as you grab it, you actually feel another hand grab onto yours. It, you think about it, and the feeling is neither that of a very muscular, but also not a very weak hand. It's not a feminine hand, but it's not a masculine hand either. It is
Hmm.
just, and you rack your brain, and then you understand. It is just the concept of a hand. Whenever you thought of a drink, you basically manifested the concept of that dream, of that drink, the concept of a meal, and then it hits you. I am not speaking with Andy. It's not this thing right here. This is just the concept of what a body is. It is just it is just detailed enough that I can tell where the head, the shoulders, the hands, and even sometimes the legs are without even having to see any of it. As NT pulls back,
Um,
it appears.
could I have like instead of like a handshake, gone for like a like a dap where I go like like the hand clasp. You know when you clasp, it's like a forefinger and the thumb, and they clasp together. That kind of handshake, not like a formal one.
You mean like the bro handshake?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you like make that loud ass clasp. That.
Yeah. He follows you as if he knew it.
Okay. Because it's a concept and everything. Got it. Yeah, I do the whole thing. I go clasp to the edge of the fingers, and like you clasp back in again.
You're doing a whole like secret handshake.
Yeah, yeah. Just like the bro clasp, finger, close, let go.
Mm-hmm.
My God, yeah,
Everything.
this is what we do. And um Nazalia. I don't remember Naz's word.
That one is interesting one. A lot more complicated than what I'm used to, but not complicated enough.
Oh.
Yeah, by the way, Mars. Let me now talk a little bit about myself. How about that?
Oh, yes, please. And I like think of a couch.
You think of a couch and you just plop back. Now your brain is your brain basically clicked with this place that you're in.
Yeah.
There's no space, there's no time, there's just you and entropy. And now you're just like, okay, you know what? I can think of some nachos and I'm gonna be eating them. But you are kind of also going through the motions because you can never see anything of the things that you are quote unquote summoning. So
Mhm.
even if you think of a ball, you can feel the weight of it. You can feel the heat of it if it has something hot in it, but you just can't see it.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it's like you're a
still
mime.
hesitating.
Yeah, it's basically you're mimicking everything,
Mhm.
but it is there. A very eye-opening experience. So NT goes into a small ramble as he is trying to figure out what is the best way to explain without overcomplicating anything. Basically, he's trying not to biblically accurate angel your brain right now.
I
And
mean,
then,
hey, just if you want, give it to me straight. Whatever I can handle.
yeah, well, he stops, turns around, and thinks. I am everything.
Hmm.
Let me explain it this way. Think, imagine that all of this place is just a vast desert. And I have a box, a cardboard box, without the bottom or the top. So what I do is that I grab my box and bury half of it into the sand, and you hear the sand just crunching as it is like mimicking. And then I take creation and put it in the box. And then I take destruction and put it in the box. And then finally, I put a let's say a medium. Safe, kinda. And he puts it in the box. And then I just see. I observe, I wait. I let creation do its thing. I let destruction basically make sure that there's stability so the box doesn't overflow, but also I make it weaker at the beginning so the box doesn't die completely. But I do want it to end. So then I make destruction grow stronger as time goes up, and I make creation grow weaker. And now I just repeat this forever. Sounds very boring, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Well, but here's the nice part. Creation sometimes makes something interesting. So I take a closer look at that box specifically when I feel that something new has happened. And I observe. Sometimes I need to get very, very, very close, but I see stories. I see people like you. I see great empires, and I see planets filled with life. I also see all of the bad sides. I see destruction, war, a planet dying, or being killed by its own inhabitants. So, I've been living such a passive life until one of these boxes caught my attention. As sometimes it happens, but this one was different. In this one, creation decided to stop creating. Destruction decided to stop destructing. And the box was still balanced. It was not gonna get overflowed, it was not going to die, so I didn't intervene. I wanted to see where this was going. And that is basically where you are going to enter as a new actor to the scene. Because you see, Mars, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the time that you spent with me, although not that it matters here. There's no time necessarily.
Hmm.
But you need to move on. This is kind of like my space. I don't know what it would do to your brain if you stay here for longer. I think that if time were to exist here, we would have been talking for give or take around 5 years.
Oh.
So, I have a deal for you. You see, I saw within you that you have a certain affinity to my friend, the one that you almost met before I brought you here.
Oh, the six-eyed freak?
Yes. Ah, I'm so glad that you still remember.
Apparently it was 5 years ago.
Well, yeah, but for us it was also just about a moment ago. The name of that entity is Zero. It is destruction. Well, but again, it is the destruction that decided to not destroy anymore. It would be closer to what you called the void in insert Nas world's name.
Oh.
But this one is a little bit different. If the void in your world, in that world, was like the clouds, ever present but that never interacted with you, the void in my world is like the grass, ever present. You can feel it, but it can also affect you. It can flow through you, but you might even be able to speak to it. But that would be boring, because he's a boring guy. And I wouldn't want you to specifically deal with him. So, how about we do this? You're not the first entity that has been coming in from other boxes. And you feel like it is making quotation marks, but you just don't see anything. So, I'll make you a deal. I'll put you in this world, but you're also going to become my warlock. You already
Hmm.
have some experience, so what is but another one added to it? But of course, I'm not gonna do this just for the sake of my entertainment, although that is a very important part of it. Let me ask you, what do you want?
Um.
What is that thing that you yearn for? Or, as mortals usually use this example, if you had a wish, what would you wish for if you were back in your previous world, or even in this new one?
Hmm. Well, it's a little complicated. I uh, I originally, as you know, as Mars the archaeologist, wanted to uncover everything I could about our world's history.
Mhm.
Um, and then as Deimos and Phobos, specifically Deimos, he had I guess I had a strong will to for power, but that was it's mostly to bring us back together, which has already happened. So, and I feel like I've matured enough to not give a shit about archaeology anymore. Especially since I am apparently not in my world entity anymore. So I don't really know what I want. I don't I don't have.
Well,
I mean, I'd like a normal life. Maybe, maybe have someone by my side. Uh, but I don't know. I think friendship and family is really what's important.
hmm.
My parents weren't the best, but I did have some good friends around.
I see. Looking for friends, I can get behind that. But then greed for knowledge and power. Well, there is a lot of knowledge for you to gain in a brand new world as soon as you arrive.
That's true. It's like
But,
a playground.
yes. But also having someone close to you. I can do something about that. We'll see. Let's actually do one of my favorite things. let's try to guess and see what happens. I'll give you two options, and then I'm going to, and you see that the sleeve moves around, and you see a coin appear on the sleeve. And I'm going to toss this coin. Wherever it lands, it is going to determine what you will get and achieve. So, and it Angie starts drifting a little bit away from you and says, the first thing, let's say that you are going to either work primarily to get a family, or you're going to work primarily to get people that are close to you, like friends or a love interest. And he tosses the coin and grabs it, looks at it, and says, the latter. Well, family is something that you can get after you grow a little bit older. And you actually feel that you are going back in time, turning younger. Alright, let's do that again. This time, let's say power and knowledge. I think that those are fair. And he tosses up the coin, grabs it, and says, power. That one is always fun. With power, you can get knowledge from a lot of sources. Although some people do say that knowledge is power, so
Yeah,
they could be interchangeable.
I told you about that one guy. His knowledge was definitely not power.
And then he appears right in front of you.
Oh,
And
fuck.
says,
Dude, Jesus, man.
and gives you the coin. And just says, how about you meeting someone that is or was very important for your life? Or finding someone that will be? How about you toss this one? And he just hands you the coin.
I grab it, or I like catch it, and I just like I flip it back and forth in my hand. See what
As you flip it back and forth, it is what seems to be a golden coin, different from the one from the other ones that you had, uh, obviously. And it has a diamond-shaped ruby on one of the sides. As you stare at it, you think for a second. It's like, wait, right. You notice that you are wearing like a white toga. Like all of your clothes, all of your inventory, everything is gone. And then you try to think since when. But since time is not a concept here, or since time is a non factor, your brain just gives you an error 404. Like,
like it's like feels like
no.
forever, but feels like just a second kind of vibe.
Yeah, it feels like this is the first time that you have noticed that you don't have them, but it also feels like you never had them.
And I
So, call the
just
coin and roll me a d2.
oh shit. Just out of curiosity, could I stick my arm out and I try to summon my glaive, my old glaive.
Nothing comes out. You actually do not even feel it.
Like stare at the palm of my hand. Do I still have scars and everything from Being Deimos?
They are gone. When you started to go, or when you start to feel like you were going back in time, getting younger, you start to notice that those battle scars were gone, as if they were never there, as if you never got them. You don't feel like your memory is being affected by it, that you still remember everything, well, as far as you can think for a moment. You try to think of the most recent event that happened after, obviously, meeting Auntie, and you do remember the fight against the Void. You do remember the sacrifice of everyone, including Omni and Phobos, for you to, well, die, I guess, and
Gallus.
hopefully save the world. Yeah, Galasar.
Mm.
So, it seems that only your body is being affected.
Mm. Hey, NT,
Hmm?
could you remind me of the options? I think I got a little distracted.
Oh, sure. Well, let me actually make it easier for you. Let's say that heads is that you will find someone that meant something for you. And then let's make tails be that you will find someone that will stay with you as far as you're alive.
What do you mean by meant something to me?
You will have to find out.
Another vague ass god.
Vagueness is interesting.
Sure.
Makes it more exciting.
And I flick the coin in the air.
Mhm.
I catch it.
So, you
Fucking the
fling the
big one.
coin. You fling the coin in the air, and you just open your palm, waiting for the coin to land. And the coin lands, jumps, and lands on its side.
Ah!
So it's just standing on its side in your hand. And Enti just gives out a chuckle. Just. I guess both it is. Both is good. So, get ready.
You're an asshole.
You should be careful who you're calling asshole. You don't want to get it on my bad side, Mars.
Uh,
But
yeah.
I will let you start off a little bit relaxed. A little bit used to everything. I don't want to overwhelm you with everything, so I'm gonna be sealing some of your memories, or I would say most of them, for first couple years.
Years.
And you'll be fine. You are not gonna even feel it.
I guess I don't have a choice, huh?
Do remember one thing, Mars. And this is very, very important. You need to grow stronger. You need to find the others. And I need you to find and kill the Constellation.
Huh? Oh,
Have a good one! And you start feeling your body just disappear, and you're gone. So is the rest of the world. And that is how session 1 began.
Or how I went to back in time. Or but wait, how I went to my backstory. You mean, right?
Yep, very
Okay.
much.
Wow. Uh, you're lucky because I was about to do some fuck shit just now. and ask some intense questions.
Of
But
course, I knew you would.
I'll just can we just say
That
that
wouldn't be fun.
can we just say that at some point in like the years of conversation that I told NT that he's very uh, they're a very human entity. They act very human compared to the other gods I know.
He would
I
have
just
probably
think he would have
commented,
appreciated that
yeah.
or
He would have
something.
commented that that's what you get when you use secondhand experience.
Mm. See, that's why I call you an asshole because it seems like you're not really an all-powerful god sometimes. Like I'm having a conversation with a friend, you know.
Hmm. Oh
Um,
yeah, no, and he knows it. That's why when he turned you back from being blue, he just commented, I found that hilarious."
yeah, yeah. Uh, and yeah, I was about to like when you said whatever I think of kind of happens. Oh, I was gonna do some stupid shit.
And I mean, some of that stupid shit that came to your mind, you probably did it.
Okay, not like I know what you're thinking of.
No, I'm thinking of, I don't know.
Boobies. That's what.
Well, yes.
Yes, but I mean, I did think of that.
Of course
Yes,
you did.
but I was thinking of like I would have tried to think of uh Phobos or
Mm,
Morte. That would have been
boobies.
fucked. Or the six-eyed dude.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Well, actually no, I didn't because you never did. Anytime you thought of an entity, nothing happened.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I
So
didn't. But
only non-sentient. So you could only summon non-sentient things.
yeah. I thought that would like break the matrix if I just thought of like a god that didn't exist here. Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Uh, let's just say that even if that god were to be teleported there, they wouldn't have been able to do anything, and probably would have just disappeared in a fraction of a second. Like
Fuck.
the fraction that they appeared, they would have disappeared
I would have been
because
so.
they were not invited to that personal meeting.
I would have been like, I can finally talk to Morte. God damn.
Well, you have Celestia. Good luck with that. Just don't piss her off, and if she's drinking, get the fuck away.
Oh, that sounds great. Sounds like a good time.
No, it doesn't.
Sounds like a good time.
But I mean, as I said, there in my world there are sometimes that you can meet. There are some ways that you can uh, meet certain gods.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for Celestia, if there is enough souls to be collected, she might show up. Now, it's not guaranteed, and there's not a certain number like, oh, if you kill exactly 7 or more, then she shows up. But for example, she didn't show up for in the festival for the crabs,
Mm-hmm.
even though there were probably a lot of crabs dying. Or maybe she did, I just didn't see her.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not a sure fact that you can summon gods. There are some that you will have more chances of. For example, if you're in the middle of the ocean and you pray to Anuiv, probably it could probably pop up out of somewhere. Or maybe Morgok will, and then that is a completely different conversation that you're gonna have.
Interesting.
uh, it depends if you are inside of his territory or not. But
Nice. Okay.
yeah, okay. So
Um, did you? Is that all you had planned?
that's all I had planned for this Japan Fest session. Yes.
Okay. Did you want to have like CNI RP meeting?
Um. So, mm,
Because
for
like the
C.
sorry
Oh, go ahead.
the way C like played his character, even though we knew each other for a day, it seemed like we had some sort of connection. So I thought it
Well,
might make sense.
technically, you were two hungry, like street dogs, and you kind of just did the monkey helps monkey and tried to gain some coin during the festival. So it was just since you were both in such a shitty situation to begin with, or well, I mean, I call it shitty situation because you're poor and that's a shitty situation to be in. But
Mm-hmm.
because you were both in the same mm, situation, yeah, you guys connected very quickly, and you guys got to talk a lot. Like those hours that you were spending in at the beach not doing anything, waiting for a goddamn crowd to show up. By the way, you guys killed three in total, like in like 5 hours.
On the first on the day me and C were there. Nice.
Yes, the guy killed three, so it was like less than 1 hour. Not because you guys couldn't kill them, because you have enough strength, just because nothing fucking showed up. But you spend a lot of time just doing small talk with each other, getting to know each other a little bit more. Well, I said that, but he never understood you, as you are a very mysterious entity that
Yeah.
doesn't want to say anything except almost all of his backstory in the first session.
Oh yeah, I did do a lot of that, huh?
That is fine. I will say I have spoken with enough of the players to know that you should be mentally ready for what's gonna come down on Kainen. But for C's 0.5 session, I have something in mind, but it is a little bit complicated. And also, I think I just need more time. Since I was so busy preparing for the session one, the day after, so Thursday, I was completely like gone. Like my brain was just not there.
Mm-hmm.
Friday, I was recuperating. Saturday, I was basically out the whole day until like 1 a.m. because I went to play Digimon with a friend, and then I went to his house, and then we just ended up talking until 1 a.m. And then Sunday, I had my other one-on-one session. So I legit could not think of the session one. I mean, I could, but I couldn't do anything of the session one or any of the session 0.5s. Yours, I already had it prepared. Indexes, I already had it prepared. Although I did change some stuff for his, make it a little bit extra spicy. But for C, I don't think that I will be able to do a 0.5 session. Uh, it would have to be like a 2.5 session. So after this Wednesday, and then I could potentially do his. But also something that I noticed with Z is that he is the least um or he is the one that has contacted me the least.
Mm-hmm.
Or basically he is the one that has barely sent me any messages. The only message that he sent me once was, hey, I updated my backstory a little bit, uh so go ahead and read it. That I did, and it was good,
Mm-hmm.
but nothing else. Like no comments about the backstory, no questions about the body, his character, anything else, the world. But again, we have only had session one. I am not going to be like, no, you need to be super invested in my session. You need to ask like at least 20 questions and you need to tell me how it went. No, I'm not that kind of person. I'm just saying, it's an observation. He is the one that has spoken with me the least, and it is also the one that I have the least connection to. Because with you, I basically went into 26 motherfucking sessions with Nas.
Yay!